We all ultimately find the things we want to hear, right? We know that, yes.
And so I mean, it's the classic story, right? The more you learn, the less you realize you know. And just as I've gotten older and really started to understand this stuff and read as much as I do, and quite frankly, live and suffer and go through things, like...
Detachment is not that you own nothing. Detachment is that nothing owns you. And I love it, because to me that summarizes detachment in a way that it's not usually explained. Usually people see detachment as being away from everything. Actually, the greatest detachment is being close to everything and not letting it consume and own you. And that's real power, that's real strength. Because most of us can't see ourselves in people, so then we try and fit ourselves into the boxes that we do see. And I mean, there's this beautiful quote that I've been saying it everywhere, and I wish I wrote it, but I didn't. So it's by a philosopher and writer named Cooley. And he said that today, I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. Right? And just let that blow your mind for a moment. It's so powerful. I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. So we live in this perception of a perception of ourselves. Hence, my identity is made by what my parents think I should be. My identity is made up by what my college or university thinks I should achieve. While you're living in that bubble and that echo chamber, getting to what you really want to do is impossible. Because maybe that just doesn't fit. And I think so many people feel that way today, that they don't fit into the current education system. They don't fit with the 3 or 4 or 5 careers that you're taught exist. So that process of self-excavation and actualization first requires being exposed. You can't be what you can't see. If I never saw a monk, I would never have wanted to be a monk. If I never meet a billionaire, I wouldn't want to be one. Because I wouldn't know what that feels like. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it takes. And I think that's the biggest challenge of our society, that we're not exposed.
Hard work cannot be separated from success. And when I say success, I mean sustained success. You can have a blip or a moment. That for me doesn't define success. Hard work and success, sustained, go hand in hand. What I feel happens a lot of the time is, as people, we work hard at the thing that we're not good at. And I think that is sometimes an energy that gets lost. I've always worked in a space where I enjoy what I'm doing, and I work hard on what I love doing and what I'm good at. And so I'd rather focus on that. And that way, most days don't feel like work, most challenges don't feel like obstacles, and most successes feel in many ways like a reward for doing what I believed I was meant to do. So I don't take any days for granted. I will catch myself if there is ever a moment where I feel the need to complain about what is definitely a first world problem.
And often the advice I give to people today is fast forward where you are, look at yourself in 10, 15, 20 years time and ask yourself the question, is that where I want to be? If you're in a company, look at the person who's 20 years ahead of you and ask yourself, is that where I want to be? If you're in a startup, look at where other startups have got to in similar roles and go, is that where I want to be? And if the answer is no, then you need to find a new path. And so a big part of that was learning new mindsets. So we were on a 72-hour train journey from the north of India to the south of India.
Okay.
Now, as a monk, you don't travel in first class, you don't travel in economy, you travel in the lowest class possible. So we're on the train.
Wait, why?
Because you're trying to have as least attachment to your surroundings.
Wow.
And
Okay.
least desires. Now, I stop at the different stops, I get off and I meditate and I get back on the train. And my teacher notices that. And he says to me, why are you not meditating on the train? And he said, well, I said, it's so hectic on the train, but the stop is peaceful. So I get up at the stop, I do my meditation and I get back on. And he said, do you think life is peaceful like the stop, or is it difficult like the train? And you know, I'm at like my first week of monk training right now. And I said, I think it's difficult like the train. He said, well, that's where you practice how to meditate.
Oh, wow.
So that's how monks think. Monks think, how can we be in the chaos, be in the clutter, but still look for stillness in that time? So for me, it was a purpose. The way we were trained was that the greatest gift or the greatest focus of a human is how can I serve others? How can I best help others and serve others? And so when I shared this doubt that I had with my teachers, they said to me, Jay, we feel the same way. We feel that you'd better serve if you were to move on. So for me, my 3 E's are element, environment, and energy. Everyone has an element that they thrive in. If you take someone out of their element, they won't be the same. A modern day example would be Michael Jordan. He was incredible at basketball. You took him out of basketball, put him into baseball, no one remembers his career. You're talking about one of the best athletes of all time. Your environment is the environment around you. You can take a fish out of water and give it a beautiful mansion and a Bentley and all the money in the world, but it will die. And that's what we are, like our environment. Everyone needs an environment which they thrive, which we have to craft. Your boss, if you're at work, is never gonna ask you, hey, what environment do you succeed in, right? Like, that never happens. So we have to create an environment where we thrive. And then finally, it's energy. Some of us love high energy environments, high pressure. Some of us succeed in low energy environments and low pressure. Figuring out your energy and the frequency on which you operate best will help you thrive as well. So for me, those are the 3 E's to really create a thriving environment. Know your element, know your environment, and know your energy. And so at all times, if I see anything going wrong, I'm going, is my element out of alignment? Is my environment out of alignment? Or is my energy out of alignment? And that's a great 3-question test you can do to yourself when you don't think things are going right. And all you have to do is bring that back into alignment. I think the biggest misconception around meditation is that you have to change what you're wearing, you have to change where you're sitting, and that you have to silence the mind. I think people are trying to quiet their mind. They're trying to stop everything from happening. And meditation is not about stopping, it's about observing. It's about sitting with. It's about understanding. It's about being curious. It's making wisdom go viral. There's an incredible study in 2017 that said the most successful people in the world, healthy, wealthy, and wise, choose education over entertainment. The impact I want to have from the world is I want to transform and revolutionize the entertainment industry so that it becomes educational without anyone knowing. So it's still completely entertaining. It's still like watching Netflix, but you're learning about human behavior, the mind, neuroscience, and everything without even knowing you are. To me, that's the greatest win that we can have for our society. How many people are going to quit watching Netflix and reading a book every night? I don't know. But if we can make that book come to life on Netflix, that's going to change the world, because that's what people are going to consume. So for so long, media has been used to numb people, to switch people off. If we can use it to excite, elevate, enlighten people, not by like the cheesy way of like, oh, let's follow someone through their journey of enlightenment. It's not like that kind of stuff. I mean, like really entertaining programming where you can learn by being entertained at the same time. If I can do that by changing the most powerful industry in the world, then I will feel that I've had somewhat of an impact. Because that way I think we'll reach the world without having to get everyone to change their habits too much. My thing is, how do we meet people where they are and really deliver a message and a powerful expression of love? And to me, that's the highest form of compassion. The highest form of empathy, love, and compassion is to meet people where they already are, rather than expecting them to change. Yeah, that's the impact I'd like to have in the world. So fingers crossed. With your help, with the help of everyone who's watching, you know, it's going to be a team effort. I can't do it on my own. I'm not expecting to. So I often say to people that you'll get to where you want in life, just not in the way you imagine. And that's because the path that's paved up and down is far different to the path we pave. So you can have a great head and a great vision and a great mission and know where you want to go, but if your heart's not able to have that resilience and be able to adapt and have compassion and care and all of that, then you're not going to be able to make the toughest decisions without your heart. But to be able to realize that we need to care and be sustainable and long-lasting requires a heart. And a hand is that service, wanting to pass that on, that which you have, wanting to give it forward, pay it forward. The idea of serving with what you have. I often say to people, your passion is for you, your purpose is for others. Your passion makes you happy, but when you use your passion to make a difference in someone else's life, that's a service, that's a purpose, and that's the hand. So those are my 3 elements of an ideal life.